to shift a little bit towards young people, let's say a 20-year-old who wants to be an entrepreneur. What would be your advice for a person like that?
Yeah, I was thinking about this question because you mentioned you might ask it, and
Yeah.
there's two ways I've thought about this. So the first idea is, like, I didn't really, like, while I tried this consulting company back in my early 30s, I don't know if I really consider that like a true foray into being an entrepreneur. It wasn't until I was doing this company, in my late 30s, I guess I was early 40s before I officially made this my full-time work. And so part of me, looking back on my 20-year-old self, if I was 26 or 27, part of me would like to go back and tell that person, like, look, man, you don't have to go work at some big company like you did at Pearson, or yeah, you can go work at a startup, but you could also just go do your own thing, carve your own path. It's okay. And that's something I try to, I have a 9-year-old son, and I want him to know he doesn't have to wait till he's 40 to start a company. So one piece of advice I would tell myself is, like, go do your own thing. Give it a try. It's okay if you fail. But at least give it a try so you don't get too long into the career path. Because when I did decide to make sales quality my full-time work, that was difficult from just a pure life standpoint, right? My wife was working on her PhD at UC Davis. We had a 2-year-old son at home. We had a mortgage. Like, we needed health insurance. Like, it's hard to like unwind all of the things that you need. It wasn't like I'm going to wake up on Tuesday and start a company. When I decided to leave Blend to do sales quality full time, it was like a 10-month transition that she and I talked it through. And how are we going to make this work? And how are we going to pay the bills? And what about Benjamin if he gets, how are we going to manage with health insurance? So it's harder to start when you're older because you just have more life piled on top of you in most cases. So part of me would say start sooner. Now, on the other hand, when I look back on my experience at Prentice Hall, selling textbooks, becoming a product manager, learning how to run a P&L, a profit and loss, being responsible for budgets, being responsible for production, working with different teams across the company, then moving to Silicon Valley and working at 3 different startups, and seeing, as even an early stage employee, I wasn't the founder, but I could observe what it takes to grow a startup. There's an enormous amount of learning that's helped me be a better entrepreneur today. So what I guess to that other part of my advice would be, it's cool to go work at companies, see how companies operate, and look at them with a critical eye. Figure out what you can learn from the people around you. Create those relationships and those mentorships, because if you wait a little longer, sometimes that you'll be starting from a much higher base of knowledge, because you will have observed the right and wrong practices, as opposed to if you do it when you're 23 or 24, you're going to be doing a lot of learning as you go. So I don't know if there's a right or wrong path, but it's either way is okay, as long as I think you consider the pros and cons of each of those for yourself.